Again, thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
You have this one sheet right here. And we had 8 different strategies that we used with this. It's a great way to start a restaurant or food unit. So you do not have to be a DJ DELF Kit user. Yes, it makes your life easier, and I'm telling you this as a teacher, and so will the hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of teachers all over the world that are using this will tell you it makes your life easier. But the DJ DELF Kit is a lot of common sense stuff. Okay, what's great about it is it's done for you. But maybe you already have your own that you've done already. Or maybe you're using a commercial program that's working perfectly for you. That's awesome. What we're suggesting is you add the grade 8 strategies into it, okay, so that we get them going. Okay. And what I like about it too is, just to read some of the comments here, Catherine says that this really makes what is seemingly a simple activity come to life. Yes, this is what traditionally people would call a listening exercise. And we changed it into being a great interactive springboard. And that's what it's supposed to be about. And notice I started with it rather than the anticipation guide, which is fine. We can do the anticipation guide. So let's take a look at this right now. Grab your pens, everybody, if you don't mind. And you're going to do, so I'm going to help you out here, just do the avant section. So this is before we actually begin the life aspect. Sure, we've chosen our big idea. Sure, we know what we're going to be doing. We know the destination. And now we're just starting to accumulate the tools in order to get us there to build the great mansion at the end, or whatever, you know what I'm saying, to fuel us on our journey. The anticipation guide is a very popular thing. It's almost become a traditional thing. V asks a really good question. So I'm going to answer V's question. What I'd like you to do right now is look to the left column and just circle d'accord or pas d'accord for each one of these statements, please. And V, I'm going to now read your question and I'm going to answer. V says, I like the ideas, but I have difficulty figuring out when and how long to stay on a certain topic. I never feel like I have enough time to do most of the cool things. And that's something that I stress really importantly. With this DJ DELF Kit, okay, which is what I've been doing for 22 years, okay, the point is that when I do this, I only do 3 to 5, and I'm telling you this semester it looks like I'm just going to be doing 3 to 5 per year of these life aspects because there's too much stuff in here. And for those of you, those are my colleagues who are here on Shop Talk and who have done the Je me présente life aspect, perhaps some of you can testify to the fact that you cannot, I mean, you could spend forever on the first verse on, you could just concentrate on Jenny Lake for a week. Yeah, Winnie, I love it. Thank you. Winnie says, I'm not an Anticipation Guide fan. Winnie, I am not an Anticipation Guide fan myself too, but don't tell anybody, okay? Yeah, all right, I would never say it publicly. Okay, so, right, I don't want to do really this sheet. I would more do it orally, just talking. I would grab my DJ DELF ball and I would mention the statements and I would ask them their opinions about it and I would just move on. So now you see what I like first of all is there's different answers and I think that's great with each statement. So you actually read the statements to them and then you kind of move on from there. We need to make it work. I would suggest making it more of an oral-based activity than a reading-based activity. What do you think about that idea? Let me know in the chat box. And then, of course, when we are done, we will revisit at the end and we can actually go over these statements. And they're going to learn a lot of cultural things about food. They really, really will. About what is really considered an entree and what isn't. And do we start with an entree? Ooh, wait a minute, what is the entree? And what is an hors d'oeuvre and things like that. Yeah, and we definitely want to make the classes as oral as possible. And now let's all remember this. An anticipation guide is not meant to wow our students in any way, shape, or form. It's basically a diagnostic assessment for us to be able to do a couple things. One, to see where they're at, but also to help get them to start to think about the life aspect that we're now working on. So that's really, really important. And then here we go. Love this activity number 2 one here. Can anybody guess what we're going to do with this, what seems to be a blank template? like Catherine says, create your own crazy menu. Give examples of each, like QV. So I'm going to ask you, where can you find the examples of each? Thank you, Louise. In the song, exactly. We're going to go back to the song. We've already done 8 things with the song. Now we have a menu, and we're going back to the song. Why? Because these exercises are, what's the S word? Thank you, Catherine. Scaffolded. It's scaffolding, all right? It's scaffolding. So we're building. So your students are always comfortable to know that, oh, we just did this. We just talked about this. Wait a minute, we were practicing this. And now I can use it. There is a safety net because the scaffolding has been happening all along. So now they will go to this song here. Let's pop it in. They'll go to this song here. They will grab the words that they find in here to put into a menu that is simply over here. So this is what I'm talking about. They tier information and they place it in there and they're organizing it. They're organizing their thoughts and they're starting to understand what the restaurant experience is about. And even more beautiful than that is the fact that, look at what I circled here. They will be actually tracking their own learning. How will they track their own learning? Well, we're only starting activity number 2. How beautiful is that? And you know, we started with activity sheet number 1. We'll use the word sheet, right? With each activity that they're going to do, they're going to track by date when they started. So, say it was le 9 décembre. Then they will track, that was when they started a particular activity, an authentic text-based activity where they were orally speaking and sharing and learning about this aspect of restaurants and food and life with the restaurant. When they feel personally that they're starting to learn and get the idea, they'll write the date of that. And so this is the same date because your students are brilliant. So your student here is going to write today's date because not only did they start the activity, but they really believe they are learning it. Now we're doing scaffolded things. So that great 8 strategies that we're going to do is probably not going to last 1 period long. You're going to revisit it over 1, 2, 3 periods, depending on how you want to draw it out, how deep you want to get into it. How deep is your love? How deep is your love of this Au Café DELF activity and the great 8 activities, right? Okay. So maybe the point where they can confidently feel they're understanding it will be the next day. All right, le 10 décembre, okay? But maybe by the 3rd day, they feel they're maîtrising it. And by keeping this sheet, by regulating their own learning, by affirming within themselves that, yes, I've got this, it creates that positive energy within the classroom. It creates that safety net that I was talking about earlier, to know that when we're scaffolding or climbing that ladder, as I saw somebody else say, you know you can take the next step. It's okay to take the next step because we're doing it together, because there's a gradual release of learning happening here, okay? So a gradual release of learning. You got it, girl? All right. A gradual release of learning. You got it, girl? All right. So this gradual release of learning is extremely important. So if the modeling happens with the teacher, the modeling happens with DJ DELF, the video of DJ DELF, the fact that they are practicing it, they're saying it, they're sharing. So there's all this modeling going on. And then, but the release goes from you and DJ DELF to them in think, pair, share situations. So from groups to pairs to individuals to, it's powerful. It's powerful. So that's what I do. I make them feel that, I give them that ownership. I make them feel that you're a part of your own learning, you're responsible for your own learning, but this is kind of a cool progression thing. And the more dates they fill, the more confident they feel, and it's very powerful to see. But the biggest reason that I do this is for parent-teacher night. So when the parents come to me and say, how's my child in the classroom? I'll say, well, let's see how your child feels. They're learning. And so they use this particular sheet, and you take it out, and you show them, this is how Ahmed or Tina or Winnie is doing in class. So it's kind of beautiful. So we go back to number 2. So now they're tiering the information, and they're starting to plug in what is an entrée, what is a plat, what is a dessert, what is a boisson, okay? And they will get it from the song. So we'll just flash back to the song. It's all in there, people. It's all in there. And then, of course, here is a menu from it. So you have the opportunity to, if you don't feel that your students are able to tier the information, here is a sheet already done for them. So this is why we say this is what's beautiful about the DJ DELF Kit, is it's all grades, all levels. Because all the equipment and tools that you need here for teaching at different levels are there. So if you're teaching grade 4 core French, it's the first time, you can still do this. Say you think that activity 2 is too much for them, give them activity 3, and then let's talk about the relationship, the correlation between activity 3 and activity 1 and the answers they find in activity 1. Do you like that? Wow. Okay, watch this. Okay, are you watching your screen? So there's this screen here, right? Ready? Did your screen change? I don't know. You let me know. Did your screen change? What did you notice between the two sheets? Euros. That's right. This is another idea of culture. Culture can be taught through the language. Culture does not have to be through like making foods or playing French games that are distinctly just French or whatever. Those are great cultural things. Of course that's culture. But there's some people that believe that is only what culture is. Culture can be found through the literacy and in this case the numeracy that is here as well to expose students to different types of things. Then you play with the vocab. You need to understand that it's okay to go back and to have fun with the vocab. Now, what do I use this sheet for? I use it simply as an activity of when they're done a particular work and say they're saying, Monsieur, you know, I'm done. What can I do? I say, just play with the vocabulary. I want you to just familiarize with just the vocabulary. This does not have an authentic-based task context to it, but you can definitely play games with it. So here's a game that we're going to play right now. People who participate are going to be able to go to this website, this Pinterest site, and pick any Étienne song or video that they want. And what you have to do right now is take your pens, and I'm going to play the rest of that Café DELF song that I paused. And while it's playing, I want you to just listen to it and enjoy it. And I want you to find a word using your pen. All right, so I've already found the easiest one. So unfortunately, I'm going to leave you guys to find the others. Bonne chance. Okay, so like I said, you can actually play this as a game. So everybody that participated, you are welcome to copy and paste that, and I would like you to have a prize today on behalf of DJ DELF. Who is DJ DELF? I'm DJ DELF, you're DJ DELF, we are all DJ DELF. This has basically become the DJ DELF nation. This little phenomenon that's gone all over the world is absolutely crazy because it's just overwhelming. It's so exciting. When you have teachers from India and New Zealand and Australia and Canada and the United States and the Middle East who are using this, and you get to share and you get to talk with these people, it's incredible. So there's just a fun idea, just something to play with the words. Just play with the words. If you have any questions, let me know, because otherwise I'm going to make like a cow and move on. All right? All right. So, okay. We do have interactive games here. Now that you've got to the point where you're starting to really learn the vocabulary, you've practiced expressions, what did you think of the song? I don't know if you're listening along to the song, but the song is actually, from the top to the bottom, an entire restaurant experience. Right from the walking in and saying hello to the restaurant people, right down to paying the bill and not forgetting the tip. It even mentions the tip. And then the salutations at the end saying goodbye and I'll see you again. It's an entire experience because what we're trying to provide the students is with real life experiences. Are we not? Is this not better than the units on ghosts and goblins and clowns and belly buttons? This is real, and it's something we can do over and over again when we mix the big ideas, and there's always a different goal at the end. So I've given you a chance to sort of see. It's a board game. They're actually going to start with little men. They can roll a die, and they can play a game using this menu. It even has little challenges where they have to go back and eat a salad, so they have to find the salad. There's the soup. Then they have to go to l'œuf dur, right here, the hard-boiled egg. A fantastic little game as you go through it. Then there's also bingo, which I have shared before on Shop Talk in these past 21 weeks. At first, I was very much against bingo. I'd never done it before. I was very much against it. Why would you play games? We should be doing real-life things. Right? But then I realized that you can actually play bingo in a really interactive way. So what they do is the students will take this bingo card, and they will, and there's many ways of doing this, okay? If you're starting at the lower grades, I suggest that they just simply put the different vocab words into any random boxes they want. If you have the older grades, then I want you to write sentences. The students are going to write sentences in each box using the vocab. And then what's going to happen is you as a teacher are going to introduce that vocab, and sometimes you can do it in a very blatant way by just directly saying the vocab, but that's kind of boring. I would rather see us asking questions and saying different things that can invoke those, right? So in this case, we have sentences, and inside the sentences, the words are buried. So I wouldn't want you just shouting out the vocab. I want you providing full, complete sentences that make them think and go, hey, wait a minute. The word I used in my sentence is used in that sentence, okay? And then you can also highlight and say, vous êtes invité au Café DELF, par exemple. And then you can say invité. You can repeat the keyword, okay? Vous êtes invité, and you lift up your hands when you use the keyword that they're needing to find in their sentence. That's really fun. And then you can see with the bingo, there's 5 different games that you can play, and of course you can make several copies so that you can play it again, or if you're using it on a virtual board like this, using PDF files that I believe Tammy suggested is a great idea. Downloading, getting the audio, downloading, getting the video, and downloading, getting these in PDF files. And what's great about DJ DELF is you can ask for any of these sheets in a Word document. Ooh, that is sexy, okay, pedagogically sexy. All right, so anyways, what happens is every time you say one, like voilà une carte, you just check it off. Une petite coupe glacée, merci bien, expressions like that. And then when somebody says bingo, all you have to do is go down the checklist, and you'll make sure that, yes, indeed, I did read that. Let's get back to more giving. All right. Activity 8. All right, something's going funny with my thing. Your sheet would not look like this, so have no fear. But basically, there's a list of qui, que, quel, pourquoi, où, comment, quand, combien, and again, this is a great space to change your own questions. And what I love about these sheets is these sheets always add a space, and you can add more, where they can add their own questions at the end. But what types of questions are these? These are questions that do not elicit yes or no responses. These are questions that actually have the students answering in full sentences, and they are conversation starters. Que choisirais-tu comme plat principal chez Café DELF? So if you were there at the restaurant, which one would you choose? Which one do you think is the most delicious entree? Why do people not start with the dessert? Why in some cultures do we start with salad and others put salad at the end? And you can talk about the whole idea of digestion, because that's really where that comes from. This is something you can do in different ways, okay? If you have older students like I do, I teach high school, I will actually give them this sheet. This is activity 8. Do you know how many days we've already been on this? All right, it's been amazing, the amount of discussions that have happened and the richness that have grown, and they're already getting excited because they're already starting to prepare for their the final end destination, whatever the big idea it is that you and they have decided to do. They're going, okay, I can do this. I can talk about Adventures of Fate. I can do this. I can do Diary of a Server. I can do this. I can do my own menu. I can do this. I can do a restaurant campaign. I can do this. I can do... Do you get what I'm saying? Well, here's where this sheet really just has them blossom. I would give them, with my students, this sheet. They would fill out their answers, and then what we do is we take the hypoallergenic DJ DELF ball, all right, and we throw this puppy around, and only the person with the ball can speak. So if I don't have this in my hand, I can't speak until I... Oh, nobody can. Now I can speak. No, I can't. I only can speak if I have it in my hand, okay? That's the rule. Only the person with the ball can speak. So I'm done. Sorry. All right. Any questions about this sheet before we move on to the next one? All right. For more prizes, my peeps. For more prizes, my peeps. Could I have we're going to make this open. Usually I just say, can we have volunteers? Okay, V, you're number 1. Stacy, you're number 2. Winnie, you're number 3. Da-da-da. Let's do this wide open. Okay, so I'm going to play the song again for a little while, and I'd like you to draw. Everybody draw. Go ahead.
Peut-être un faux filet rosé à point ou bien cuit. Que prenez-vous? Les spécialités aujourd'hui sont les pâtes, les légumes et le poisson. Le chef recommande tous les plats qu'il prépare, la volaille, les viandes et les fruits de mer. Il prépare des plats séchés, bouillis et brûlés, avec des goûts piquants, salés et sucrés. Au Café DELF, vous êtes invités pour ne pas déjeuner.
Okay, so let's stop there, and now let's admire our Picasso-like works. Now, not Picasso because I'm saying that they're just abstract and bizarre, but I just think they are real works of art. Art is a great way of expressing yourself to show, yes, I know the vocabulary. I know the vocabulary. All right? And I know what we're talking about. I know where we're going. I know where I've been. All right? I like that one. That was a lot of fun. That was great. So those of you who participated, again, you, in my opinion, more than earned the chance for a free song or video. So thank you so much. Thank you so very much. All right, I fear I don't want to do this, but if you want to take a capture screen or if you want to take a picture of your work of art right now, please do, because I'm going to have to erase it in order to move on to the next section. And perhaps you're going, but I still don't have enough ideas. You got to give me more, Steve. You got to give me more ideas. Well, that's what this raft is from. And first of all, you need to pay attention to the fact that it's very clearly stated here that this is a reference guide for us as teachers. Now, because you can ask for this in Word, you can simply take this sheet and translate it completely into French if you wish to, or change up the activities if you don't particularly like a certain activity that you see and you want to make it better for yourself. Well, just go right ahead. But RAF stands for role, audience, format, topic, and the S stands for strong verb. So let me slip that up so that you can see what I mean by that. The strong verb is down here, so you're going to see it in 3 seconds. Entertain, interact, persuade, explain, rhyme, connect, engage, remind, those types of things. Those are strong words, the strong verbs that they can concentrate in. That's kind of where it's going to lead them into going, what kind of a skit are we going to do if this is going to be skits, for example, as a drama exercise? So let's pull this down and realize that the different roles we can provide them can actually be used either straight up and down, or you can do zigzag. So you're a super chef, and the general public, if you're writing a song, which is to the rap beat, and you create a cool rap to use the food vocabulary in French that you've learned. All right, so it doesn't have to be the rapper who did it. Maybe the rapper is going to be busy writing an article for magazine. Okay, so there's no limit. This is what you need to understand, too, is the DJ DELF Kit is a career's worth of resources that are filled with suggestions. They're things that you can decide to change, switch, flip, reverse, put things upside down. Or more importantly, open it up for co-construction with your students for your students to add their own ideas. That, my friends, is beauty in action. Now we're going to get really serious. Really serious. And have some serious fun. And this is where we're going to ask for some brave helpers here. This is what I love. Okay, this is activity 11. You've done just a boatload of activities already with them. Authentic things where you've been delving into food. You've been just, it's been wonderful. Now let's get down to a cafe situation when we're practicing this being in a restaurant situation. We're going to have a server, and we're going to have Gaston. Gaston is our patron. This is the person that's coming in to order things. Can I have a volunteer, 2 volunteers actually, who would just read? Now, what you're going to see here, there's numbers here. And what you're going to have to do is either read it directly as it is, especially the first time you can do that, or you can, wherever it says number 1, you can go down here and you can change number 1 for any of the number 1 possibilities that are in the vocab at the bottom. What this means is these skits aren't just skits. These are actually skits with interchangeable vocabulary. So every time you do this, the skit can be brand new, and you can change it. And what's beautiful is students will start by switching just the things that are underlined, right here, right here, right here, etc., etc. But very soon, they're going to be switching other words and making it really, really cool. Okay, V will read. Is there somebody that would be really kind enough to read with V? Catherine, God bless you. Would you mind?
I'm in.
All right, that is so cool. Okay, so Catherine and V are going to read, and it's going to be interesting because they've never met each other. V, where are you from again?
Pennsylvania.
From Pennsylvania?
Oui.
Is that what you said? That's awesome. And where are you from, Catherine?
Windsor.
Haha, Windsor, Ontario. So we've got Canada and America coming together. We're trying to just bond the two countries together to mend the differences. No, I'm kidding. Anyways, so this is really, really cool. All right. So we're going to have you guys read, and maybe I'll just shut up. and feel free to just change whatever you wish and just have some fun with it. V, why don't you start?
Bienvenue à notre café. Voilà, menu. Vous désirez?
Qu'est-ce que vous recommandez?
Pour l'entrée, je recommande la salade composée. Aujourd'hui, les spécialités sont le faux filet et les légumes.
D'accord. Pour l'entrée, je voudrais l'œuf dur.
Ça va. Et pour le plat principal, je vous écoute.
Je voudrais du beefsteak bien cuit et une patate.
Et comme boisson?
Une boisson gazeuse, s'il vous plaît.
Pas de problème. Voilà votre steak haché avec les légumes et votre thé.
Ah, c'est fantastique. Merci.
C'était à votre goût. Quelque chose pour dessert?
Oui, c'était bien préparé. Ah, oui, de la tarte tatin, s'il vous plaît.
Bien sûr. Et voilà votre tarte tatin.
Fantastique. Pardonnez-moi l'addition, s'il vous plaît.
Oui, madame. Le voilà, à bientôt.
Merci. La prochaine fois, je commanderai le poulet.
I appreciate that so much. Now, everybody, type something in the chat box to show your appreciation, please. Merci bien. Thank you so much. So, can you see? Oh, look at the love you're getting. You see the love you're getting? You guys were absolutely trying to change every word, which is awesome. But did you find it fairly easy to navigate? First of all.
Definitely easy to navigate.
Okay. The challenge, I think, is if Gaston orders something different, then the problem is the poor server has to remember what it is Gaston just said, darn it. So what I do...
I hope the server was writing it down.
Exactly. And that's actually what we do. We actually have them play the role and have a little notepad and actually play along. And we often have the real menu in front of them. So we'll have the menu in front of them. The server will actually be writing things down, and it just authenticates everything, right? It makes it real life, and it makes it that much more beautiful. Every one of these activities are basically a diagnostic assessment opportunity, right? This one's really, really powerful. So what we do is we have the students doing this, and every time they do the skit, it's going to be completely different. And what I love is they'll even change the actual writing, not just the stuff in the that are underlined. They're going to start changing the whole body of the skit, which is great. Well, hopefully what you also notice is that this is very much based on the song, not just the vocab, but the experience from walking into a restaurant to asking for the bill. So they'll steal ideas from the actual DJ DELF song as well, because that's comfortable to them. Same with the idea of just reading what's there on the text the very first time, just to practice it, and then just changing 1 or 2 words the next time, changing 3 or 4 the next time, changing 6 or 7 the third time. That's another thing that I do. So I hope everybody sees the continuation of scaffolding, the whole idea of building, climbing up that ladder, but being confident because you're taking with you what you learned the experience before, and being able to double check by looking at, and I'll bring it back down to the one that we had, the dates of when you started, when you were learning, when you were starting to really understand, and when you really feel that you are maîtrising it. So thank you again, Catherine and V. That was awesome. I really, really appreciated that. Now they're going to make their own skit. Okay, so we'll go from the skit to this template where now they can make their own skit, and they've practiced it so many times. And the purpose of this is for them to be able to present it in front of the class, for example, or to put it onto video. That would be another great example. But not just to do that. It gives them the confidence, because even when they're done presenting that, I like to have them come up to me one-on-one, and I like to play these roles where I'm the server or I'm the person ordering, or we're talking about building a restaurant together, or we're talking about putting a menu together based on whatever big idea and what direction you were going. I have one-on-one interviews with my students, and that's where I really get to learn how far they have gone. And then there's, of course, this great internet activity where they search online for the following articles. They have to find out the price, okay, a cafe or restaurant where they can find it, and then they have to source the website that they found. So we're going to do some little bit of internet research with Activity 13. So Activity 13, of course, is another research-based activity. We want to get the kids using technology, and we have plenty of exercises throughout the DJ DELF Kit that get students practicing with texting and emailing and things like that. But we definitely might like to make connections with research and using the internet. So this is a really, really excellent one there. And of course, when you have the ability to change these things to Word documents, you can make these things whatever you want to be. You can just change them, make it an evolution of wonderfulness, right? And then Activity 14 is a picture that we got courtesy of Gulf Shore Design by Travis Kinney. And this is a fantastic sheet where things are numbered. So they actually, you take the ball, the DJ DELF activity ball, and you say, okay, we're on numéro 3. All right, for numéro 3 class, what type of things are going on? What is number 8? What is number 11? What's near number 14? And they can create stories about things around the restaurant. And finally, there is a real-life menu, okay? A real-life menu that they can use, and it's just an example of one of many that they can use. So I picked this one up from the last time that my family and I were in France, and I got permission to actually include it. Of course, any restaurant would have been happy to do that because of a little extra promotion. But you encourage students to go out and find other menus off of the internet. There's tons of them, I'm sure, that they can find, and they can compare prices, compare items, and do so many things. You know, one of the big ideas that was out there was talking about plates from different countries, and so you can compare, even within a country, different regions, what kind of dishes are served and why are they different? Why does this one be heavy on veal, and then this cafe down in the south is heavy on meats? Well, maybe because there's a lot of cow farmers over here and there's a lot of sheep herders up over there. So it's really interesting to be able to talk about it. So then we end with that menu, so we can go with Bravo next week. And Bravo is all about positivity. It's about making a difference in our community and making a difference with each other, which is what I'm trying to do with DJ DELF Kit, is what I'm trying to do by being here with you guys, being here for you guys. And because it is such an enormous blessing to be with you all. Circle, will you know if you were able to grab a nugget or two out of today? This is, like I said, in my classroom. When you walk out of my classroom, there is a thing on the board that says, yes, I learned, sort of got it, comme ci, comme ça, and then je n'ai aucune idée, you know, like I'm totally lost. I have no idea what happened. So this is your opportunity to take yours. And is there something that you grabbed out of this that was useful to you? And if you wish to, you can type down in the chat box what that was, because then somebody else might see it and say, oh, I just joined, or I missed the first half hour. What was that? So if you want to, you can type down in the chat box and say what it is that you took from this. Maybe it was a big idea. Maybe it was the great eight strategies, and how you didn't know that what was originally introduced for Je me présente, which was then reintroduced for Ma journée typique. What a great song. Do you not love that song? I love that song. But anyways, it can also be used for all the other life aspects, and proof positive was today with Au Café DELF.